Hello, family and friends. How are you? Good evening from here in Nigeria. And I welcome you to this live broadcast where we feel free to share and spread knowledge. So I welcome you and encourage you to join me as we seek and spread knowledge without fear or favor. So you're welcome wherever you are. I want to share with us very important issue. It concerns us. Of course, everything I say, I always say, especially in my live broadcast, concerns all of us, and we are not afraid to say it or to express ourselves because it concerns us. I will be speaking on what I titled Nature Without God. Nature Without God. Which also, like what I was sharing yesterday about the true Holy Land, Egypt, is the true Holy Land. It's naturally holy land. It is not man-made like that of Israel or Mecca, which men made up as a tourist site, where you can go to see things. No, Israel, the whole land, Egypt, the whole land of Egypt is holy, and that land is called Africa. Before the evil men, but they hated Africa so much, they hated nature. Everyone that hates Africa hates nature, because our African ancestors will see themselves as one with nature, and that's what it is. That's why we are called what? Human nature, not God nature. We are not God nature. We are human nature. We are spirits, we are energy, we are the universe, we are part of it. The universe has no beginning and no end, and so are we. So to us, death is not an end. Rather, death is a door that opens us to the next level in life, not outside life. In life, not after life. In life, we remain. Life we have is eternal. The life we have no beginning or no end. The life we have is eternal. Eternity is in us because life is in us. You cannot kill man. You cannot kill human being. They live on. Not in heaven. They live on. Not in hell. They live on earth. This is our land. This is our holy land. But the enemies, the evil people that want people to accept their ideology, that want people to accept their religion, that want people to accept their concept of how things are supposed to be, are against nature. And that's why they made up books. They made up things to keep you away from nature, to keep you away from the truth, because nature is the truth. It's not Jesus, it's not Allah, it's not Yahweh, it's not Jehovah, it's not any imaginary being that people believe in, but nature is the truth, and you are part of that nature, so you are the truth. I do answer that question, to people that always ask me, what is the truth? You are the truth. If you are looking for the truth, look at yourself. Even when I was still a Christian and a gospel preacher, I used to even try to defend the Holy Trinity with myself. I'll always tell people, start with yourself. You believe God made you in His own image and after His likeness. Now you believe God is three in one person. I said, okay, look at it. Okay, you can be a father. I'm a son. You are a son to your parents, and now you are a father, right? And now you are also husband to a woman. So three. See, but if you want to bring real understanding to that, you see that man is more than three. If man is God, man is more than three. Man can be anything at the same time. But the religious people want you to believe in their evil teachings. Yeah, it's evil because any teaching that is against nature is evil. That's why homosexuality is evil. Holy Trinity is evil because they are teachings against humanity, against nature. They are things, beliefs, or practices that people accepted against nature. But when it comes to nature, nature is nature. There is nothing you cannot destroy nature. You cannot. One time I used that example. Go take a field and uproot every tree, every grass in it. Uproot them. Make them plain. No tree, no green thing on it. Wait, come back either 1 or 2 days later. You will see them springing up again. It is natural. You cannot eliminate it. That's why they created that hell. Do you hear what they tell you that hell look like? Bottomless pit. Imagine bottomless pit. It's just to put fear in you. Bottomless pit. That's why they ask you that they hated nature so much. They don't want you to think about nature. They don't want you to remember nature or to see the nature. Because Africa is part of nature. They put it in their Bible. They say that the Egyptians you see today, you shall see them no more. And he said, the Lord will do what? Fight your battle. Oh, let me say it again. I want Africans to understand what I just said. They said to you, the Egyptians you see today, you shall see them no more. That's Exodus chapter 14, verse 13. Then in verse 14, he said, you will hold your peace. The Lord will fight for you. Is it why you see Africans still believing that God will fight their battle? Why those people that gave them the Bible and religion don't believe that? Those people are actually building weapons to fight their own battles. But they tell Africans, no, don't. Your ancestors, you will see them no more. Your ancestors are Egyptians. You shall see them no more. But the Lord will fight your battle. Have you seen any Lord fight African battle? No. During invasion and the enslavement of Africa, or during slave trade, where was that the Lord fighting for Africans? Where was that Amadioha? Where was that God, or whatever you say that God is, or whoever you say that God is? Where was that God during slave trade? Where was that God during Nigerian Biafran war? Think. Those of you that still claim to be awakened, but you are going to all this Arusha nonsense and Ahmadiyya has shit. You have to wake up. If you're not awake, stay asleep. Stop trying. You cannot confuse people that are already awakened by you claiming that you are awakened. No, if you are awakened, you will come out of every religion, every superstition, everything that does not bring you to nature. They don't want you to see your ancestors again. They don't want you to think about your ancestors again. They don't want you to reason about that. They want you to keep hoping there is one Lord that will come from heaven to fight your battle. Oh, let me let this guy in and now see what he has for us. In their book, for you to be far from the truth, because nature is the truth and you are part of that nature, but they don't want you. And that's why I want to devote some time today to speak on this nature without God. We existed and we exist without God. No God created us, unless you're talking about our parents. Hey, what's up, man?
Great man.
How you doing?
I'm good. Good evening to you.
Good evening. What is your name again,
You know,
please?
my name is Jesus Ndiolumbe.
Oh, Junior. Okay. Lumbo Lumbe.
That's my Facebook name.
The first time I saw that name, I said maybe you used to be member of that religion. Or you know, our people are afraid of that religion. They say Jesus of Olumbe. You know, they have
Jesus
their
of
church
Ndiolumbe.
along
You
up
know,
Iweka Road.
I just want to I want to make mockery of that name. They have to know that name. There's nothing
Yeah,
special
that's
about
what
it.
I thought. I said maybe you used to be there, so like you use it as name to show them to make mockery of it. That's what I thought. So what do you have for us
My
today,
brother,
Jesus Olumbe?
you are doing a very great work. I just want to commend you for your work. In fact,
Of course.
I am now your number one fan. I'm your number one fan. Please keep up this good work, and in due course we shall get to that. We shall get to our destination,
Up
because
never.
our people
Up never.
our people need to wake up.
Up never.
Our people our people need to wake up. Our people need to wake up. Keep this good work up. Keep it up, bro. Keep it up, bro. Keep it up, bro. I
Of
just want to
course.
commend you.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Yeah, thank you
Yes,
very
keep
much.
up the good work. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah.
So
Yes, thank you.
NEPA just take light and they put on generator. So
Oh,
let me put on the AC.
okay. Okay. I forgive you guys. I want three.
So you see, so like what I was saying about nature without God, of course, we are part of that nature. We exist without God. God was made by man. Man brought that idea of God. Like you see people still confused today saying, okay, who created the nature? But they never ask who created God. You know why they never ask who created God? Because they tell them God is almighty. To tell them about nature, they begin to ask you who created. They didn't even ask what created nature. They will ask you who created nature before they ask you how did nature come to being. And my answer is very simple. Nobody knows how nature come to being because we are part of nature. It is part of us. I know how I came into being. I came into being through sex. My parents had sex and had me. No God created me. If God created me, that God would have shown himself and tell me, I created you, this is the date I created you. But nobody have any creation date. So it's crap. And when it comes to nature, anyone that try to explain nature, like trying to, no one can do that because all of us are part of the nature and we are everywhere in the world with the trees, with the animals, with the other part of the nature which made it the universe. So start with yourself. Anything you're trying to know, anything, start with yourself. You are part of the nature. Do you know how you began in your mother's womb? You don't know, but you know you started as sperm in your father's waist, in your father's loins. Then your father laid with your mother. It is not bad thing for you to know. It is right thing. That's why you should stop running away from talking about sex or all these issues that concerns us. Your father had sex with your mother. It is not sin. It is not evil. Okay, whether they married or not, it is not evil, it is not sin. Your father laid with your mother, get your mother pregnant. That's how you came into being. No, there's no other way. No spirit gave birth to you. You cannot be born again by any spirit. You can only be born again by another man and woman, and that is what is called reincarnation. It is when they brought the spiritual nonsense into it, they created the resurrection. The resurrection, which is a natural thing to us. The resurrection is a natural thing. Right now, I'm speaking, my penis is dead. In other words, it's not erected. But when something happens or trees gas it resurrected, it erects. It's natural thing. In the night, the sun dies. In the morning, the sun rises. It's resurrection. It has nothing to do with you dying and coming back to life and in a spiritual body, or as they say, or maybe you can go through the wall. Now that's crap. Okay, so when you're talking about the nature, you are talking about yourself. You are part of it. You're supposed to know what you know. You cannot know everything about nature, but we all, when we come together, bring our knowledge together, you see that we all, as a body, know nature. That's why we have inventors or people. All of us can invent things. Another thing that limits us from inventing things or doing what we're supposed to do and depending on other people is what? Religion and the fear. Religion thrives on fear. Fear, you have that fear, you cannot know all things. You cannot do all things. All that, no, don't have that fear. You can do all things you are born to do. You can know all things you desire to know. That's simple. If you want to know anything, you have to learn it. You have to go for it. You can acquire any knowledge you want. But religion don't want you to acquire. He said, no, just believe. Why am I believing when I can know? If there is opportunity, if there is chance, if there is time for you to know, why not know? Why you keep believing? When you keep believing, you keep living in fear. When you keep living in fear, you keep suffering unnecessarily. As many are suffering unnecessarily, even in Africa, the Holy Land, where there is no lack of any good thing. So when you are talking about nature, nature exists without God. But nature, gods and goddesses are part of the nature. Gods and goddesses, human beings, they are part of nature. It is some men that brought up the issue, the idea of theists and atheists. Because that's how they do, they divide and rule. They divide people. Now, these people believe in God. These people don't believe in God. We call the people that believe in God theists, and the people that don't believe in God atheists. Now, division comes in. Hatred sets in. What happens? Death. You see the theists killing people. They say that atheists also used to kill people before. They say it happened in China. Before I used to say, no. Somebody say, okay, is it more people or Zhao people? I don't know the name they call them in China. They say they kill people in their certain time. But in my area, like I live in America and I grew up in Africa. So I know that atheists are not the one killing people in America. They are not the one killing people in Africa, where I came from. It's people that believe in God. I say it again. Perico Masangeti said, obodo gene ntị ofu chukwu ka anyị na-ekpere ọsị mana ihe na-atụ ya egwu bụ na onye na-eme nsi na-ekpere chukwu, onye na-egbu mmadụ sịkwa na ofu chukwu ahụ ka ọ na-ekpere. Yes, we claim that we believe in one God. We are praying to God. All of us pray to God, believe there is God. So why are we killing each other again? Why are we doing bad things and claiming that we believe in that God? If actually you people believe in God, Muslims shouldn't be killing Christians. Christians shouldn't be hating Muslims or anywhere. There should be no history of killing in any war, in any religion or any entity or any people or any person that believe in God. Let me use my life as an example. My parents were good Christians. I was born in a good Christian family. Both where my father came from and where my grandmother came from, they were very religious family. Right? And my grandmother passed that to my father, and my father passed it down to me. But behold, when I was growing up as a teenager, that Christian belief did not stop me from stealing. It did not stop me from doing what I don't supposed to do simply because I want to be rich, or maybe I want to have things that I see others have. Why can't I have it? But it's the same religion that makes us believe there is spirit of stealing. There's no such thing as spirit of stealing. Unless you're talking like human being is a spirit, then, of course, if you steal, you are a spirit steal. But there's no spirit of stealing controlling somebody to steal. Or no, it is desire that makes people steal. It is desire that makes people kill. It is desire that makes people do certain things they don't supposed to do. You're supposed to know that. When you're talking about temptation, there's no temptation until there is desire. All you are suffering in this world is because of your desire, not because of any demon, not because of any devil, not because of any spiritual being or any nonsense they tell you, ancestral cause and all that. No, it is your desire. You are where you are today because of your desire. So many of us, we are living in the village, but we have that desire. We are living in the village suffering. We see somebody, we saw somebody that came from city or from abroad with cars, with money, marrying the best woman we cannot even dream of having because we don't have money. We say, you know what? I am going to the city also. I'm going to abroad. Some of us sell our properties to go to travel abroad to make money, right? We did all that because of our desire, not because of devil, not because of God, not because of demon, not because of angels, not because of any imaginary being. It is our desire. We are the one that have the power to live in this world as we want to live, as we ought to live. When we live as we ought to live, we live as humans. But when we live as we want to live, that's when we behave like animals. That's when we behave inhuman. That's when we begin to torment others. That's when we begin to enslave others. That's when we begin to, see others as lesser than us. I still hate that idea of king and servant. Oh. Okay, it's back. Please, this Wi-Fi, don't disturb me, okay? I'm begging the Wi-Fi not to disappoint me. Maybe the up-nep affected it. That's why I had that poor connection, but it's back on. So, it is your desire that drives you on. And when you see people that don't have desire, they don't desire anything in life, and you see them remain so. If they like it, it's good for them. But you see, sometimes when you don't desire certain things, people can push you to desire it. Some people don't desire to be president. Some people push them to desire it, and they become one. Some people don't want to do certain things. People push them. I remember one time the woman I wanted to marry, she was pushing me to become something, because she wants her man or her husband to be very rich. So she was pushing me to do certain things, which are good things. They were not bad things. But that was not the way I wanted to go. You see, so I know what I desire. I know who I am. And I know where I'm going. So I will have my desire within that, let me use the term, that vision of who I am. I know who I am. You have to know who you are. Then you know what you're supposed to be doing and be doing it. I can desire to be anything, but when you desire to be anything, you also have to determine or be committed to see it come into fruition. It cannot come into fruition by your desire alone, or by your faith alone, or by your belief alone, or by your wish alone, or by your declaration alone. You have to actually put to work the things that will make them manifest, which make you God. So when you're talking about nature, we're also talking about our ancestors. That's the way the African culture is natural way. It's natural. It is not against nature. Although there are some among them that we are bringing forth something that are not natural. Like, well, maybe when they kill somebody to be in power, or maybe when they think maybe they have some money than other people, they begin to do some shit which they don't supposed to do. So when I hear some people talking about the gods of our ancestors. Do you know when African Christians talk about the God of their ancestors, they are not even talking about the God of their African ancestors. They are talking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That is ridiculous. As African, Abraham can never be your ancestor. Isaac can never be your ancestor. Jacob can never be your ancestor. But they force you to accept those names. They are just names they made up. They were never people that actually lived like you and I are living. But they make you accept those names as your ancestors. And when you accept something or a name that never existed as your own ancestors, guess what? You are ignorant of yourself. You are not respecting your own ancestors. In other words, you are not respecting yourself. And that's why you can say you have given your life to Christ. That's why you can say you have given your life to work of God. You have given your life to the ministry. You have given your life to that cause. No, take back your life and begin to live. Who was the God of your ancestors? It was not Yahweh. It was not Jehovah. Remember, I'm using the term it. It was not Yahweh. It was not Jehovah. It was not Allah. It was not Buddha. It was not Jesus. Our ancestors had no one God. Our ancestors had gods and goddesses. Their parents, the gods of our ancestors. My parents are my gods. Myself and my wife or my woman are gods to our children. You get that? It's the circle of life. It is not one he God in heaven. It is not one he God in the sky. It's not one he God somewhere. There's no he God that can create anything. You read your Bible very well. Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. Say, and God said, let us make. There is no one God that can create anything. Even your Bible can teach you better. God have to look for people to create things. Say people, no, God has to look for goddess. No God can create anything without goddess. And that is the natural way that our ancestors followed. Where there is God, there is goddess. Where there is up, there is down. Where there is left, there is right. Where there is male, there is female. Where there is woman, there is man. You cannot be only one and recreate or create something. That's why here when people say, oh, they are self-made millionaires, or maybe this person is a self-made millionaire, it's a lie. Nobody is self-made. You cannot make yourself anything in this world without others. And the real one comes when you do it with your opposite sex. So when you're talking about the gods of our ancestors, you are talking about also ourselves. We have that one blood. We are one with our ancestors. It's not any imaginary God, imaginary being, or invisible God somewhere. Our ancestors are the gods of our ancestors. You don't have to worship them. All you have to do is to acknowledge them. Know about your ancestors. You know about Abraham. Do you know about your great-grandfather? Tell yourself the truth. You know about Sarah. Do you know about your great-grandmother? Tell yourself the truth. Even your own father may not know about his great-grandfather. Like my own father who died, who his father died when he was young, so he didn't know his father, right? How about his great-grandfather? But my father know Abraham very well. He preached Abraham so well. My father know all the characters in the Bible very well, of course. His name is Peter. And he named me Shadrach. That's the name of his father. The Shadrach I'm answering is not the Shadrach of the Bible. That's why when people tell me, but your name is biblical and change it now, I laugh. I'm not the one that named myself, and my father named me after his own father. The name of his father was Shadrach. He named me Shadrach. Then my Igbo name, which my father named me, that was Ahamefune, according to my own tongue. Before on it, I call it Afamefuna. So but it's Aham Efune, or as we really call it in our own tongue, Aham Ehune. Aham Ehune. That's my own Ibubu tongue. Ibubu Muchi tongue. Aham Ehune. That's how we say it. So you see, we know the history, or the story, it's not history, the stories of all those characters in the Bible that never existed. But we don't know about our ancestors. We don't know about our fathers. We don't know them. That's why you see our people claiming that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are their fathers. They are praying for it, praying to sit and doing everything to sit with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. What happened to your own ancestors? They are not in heaven. Why are you sitting with other people's ancestors in heaven and you believe your ancestors are in hell because they don't believe in your nonsense Jesus Christ? In your silly faith in God of Israel? Why are you trying to sit with the Israelites when you are African? You're supposed to sit with your African ancestors. We are 100% nature without God. Clean, holy, good, better, and we can do the best in life. And that's why, because we are part of the nature, we were born to learn from nature, not from fictional character, not from Jesus. We were born to learn from nature. We can learn from animals better than from Jesus. We can learn from trees better than from Jesus. Because Jesus never existed. Trees exist. Animals exist. You have to learn from them. Let me read this place. Proverbs chapter 6. It's very important. Let me read this so you get what I'm saying. Proverbs chapter 6, where you should learn from. And I also read Matthew chapter 11, where Jesus said, learn from him. I refuse to learn from Jesus. I learn from nature. I decided to learn from nature because that's the only way you can make it. If you want to make anything meaningful in this life, you have to learn from nature. You learn from your fellow human beings. You learn from animals. You learn from things you can see, things that exist. You learn from them. That's the only way you can make it. Anybody that tell you a spirit, tell him something. You see how confused the life of that person is. And before you know it, that person, they say maybe one type of sickness or disease get hold of him, or that person just die. But when you follow nature, you see now people are walking out trying to eat healthy and all that because we are learning from nature. If we follow him by faith, many of us will be so obese that we wouldn't be alive today. Obese, or however they call it, obese and obese. So all of them are the same. But when you learn from nature, Then you see, you begin to amend your ways. You begin to consider your ways. You begin to live a better life. Proverbs chapter 6, from verse 6, it says, go to the ant, you sluggard, you lazy, you sleeping head, you sleepy head. Go to the ant, consider her ways and be wise. Go to the ant and learn, not go to the Lord and learn. Which Lord? Which God are you going to learn from? The God you cannot see? If the God you cannot see don't need to teach you anything. You don't need to learn from that God. You learn from somebody you can see. If you can learn from somebody you can see, how can you tell me you are learning from somebody you have not seen? 1 John chapter 4 verse 20 is in your Bible. How can you tell me you love God who you have not seen when you don't love your own brother who you can see? It's in your Bible. But you will read it somewhere, somehow else, and begin to talk nonsense. Go to the ant, not to Jesus, not to God. Go to the ant, not to pastors. Go to the ant. You sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no captain, having no keeper, oversee or ruler. Ants don't have captain, don't have overseas, don't have ruler, but you have. Ant is better than you if you're a believer. Ant is better than you if you are a believer. Ant don't have any captain, they don't have any overseer, they don't have any ruler over them. And that's natural way to live. We all were born to live equally. Not somebody becoming king over us, becoming president over us, becoming governor over us, or ruling over us. But the system, they have corrupted nature. They work against nature and brought in those systems that suppress some and exalt some. And many of us see it as a right way. Of course, they tell you it is God that put them in power. God put them in authority and put you under. That God is stupid for doing so. If He created all of us with equal thing, why will He make one above another? Trust that God. Verse 8, He said, they have no captain, they have no overseer, they have no ruler, but they ant provides her supplies in the summer. He knows when to provide for her supply. He saved up. He said he provides her supplies in the summer and gathers her food in the harvest. It's something he does continuously. Every summer, every harvest time, that's when the ant provides and gathers food. He said, how long will you slumber, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep? When will you wake up, my people? Africans, wake up. Religious people, wake up. Wake up from that sleep. A little sleep, a little slumber. Remember, little faith like a little muscle. Oh, ye of little faith. You see, little faith, little. Wake up, wake up. A little sleep, that's a little faith. A little slumber, that's a little make-believe. A little folding of hands to sleep. You know, you sleep, you dream, you fold your hands. Instead of you go walk. Instead of you say, no, I'm waiting on the Lord. You fast and pray, you sleep, you wake up. Your problem remains. He says, so shall your poverty come on you like a prowler, as a criminal, a robber, and your need like an armed man. It is not any devil coming. It is not any Satan coming. It is your need when you don't rise up to do what you're supposed to do. Go to the ant and learn. They had no rulers over them, yet they provide for themselves. They gather their food. They don't wait upon the Lord to supply all their needs according to His riches and glory. They are not praying for God to give them give us this day our daily bread. No. They are busy providing for themselves in summer, and at harvest time, when people are harvesting, they are also harvesting from the crumbs or from whatever people left behind. They store them in their hole. So when the rainy season comes, everything is closed. They are under there. Right where you are standing, there is ant under you, covered, because it's rainy season. And they are enjoying them. They are not worried about the storm because they have their supply. Not God that supply it. God is not the one that supply the need of the ants. God cannot supply your need. It's time you learn from the ant. Learn from the ant. Do things for yourself. Do something that will give you money. Even if it's selling peanut, granite, or selling whatever it is, no matter how little it is, Keep doing it so long it's providing for your need. Don't kill anyone. Don't covet or compete with anyone. Just live your life humanly. Then your life will be better. I'm yet to see a woman who will tell her husband that she was impregnated by the Holy Spirit. You know, they will tell you are carnal. So that the one that happened in the Bible is spiritual. You are carnal, of course. But I think I will try to maybe giving more time to women, like talking about women, because women really need to wake up. Women have that power. The natural power that women have over men is called influence. Women can influence women easily. I mean, women can influence men easily. No matter how strong, no matter how hard-headed a man is, the woman he loves will bring him down. We make him do what he swear he will never do. So if women begin to wake up in mass, you see how things will begin to change, because many men are in religion where they are now because of their women. Yes. Because their women influence them. Some men, maybe they were Catholics or Anglican when they married their wives, but now their wife has taken them to prayer houses, taking them to Pentecostal or all that. But when they go to village, they still know, okay, it's village now, we are Catholics, we are Anglican. They go to that place. But when they go back to the city, it's the church their wife introduced them to. Their wife pray. He said, honey, you see, when I pray, the Lord say you will have that contract. That's why you had it. The man of God made it happen. Yeah, let's go. He's a great anointed man of God. Women know how to sell their market to men. Who else will buy from women if not men? But as Claire said, CJ said, have you seen any woman that said to her husband, honey, oh, after the night vigil or after the prayer section in the church, the Holy Spirit impregnated me? You know, the man with divorce, he will say, your pastor will perform it again. Because the Holy Spirit is the pastor, whoever they ask to go and sleep with her. Of course, you know, some religious leaders do that. Some women that are looking for fruit of womb, they are willingly, I mean, they voluntarily, they willingly volunteer themselves to be slept by the man of God instead of maybe one boy in the street. Of course, many women, some women, not say many, some women who are looking for fruit of womb, they can do anything to be pregnant without the consent of their husband. So they can go to any prayer meeting, they can go to any river bath, they can go many secret places you don't know. And so I used to believe, you see some people, they die in accidents like animal or all that. I said, trace how they were conceived. Where did their mother go or their parents go when they were looking for fruit of womb? You see some parents, they go to some places seeking for fruit. Why are you seeking for fruit of our ancestors weren't seeking for fruit of womb? You marry, you cannot get pregnant, then your husband will marry another woman, join, not divorce you and remarry. No, you marry another, marry second wife. Then if the man is the one that cannot perform, then they will look for somebody from the family to be impregnating the woman. These things are natural, but today we have embraced this foreign religion that really corroded our brain. I mean, rot our brain, that we don't even want to think as humans anymore. We want to think as spirit. That is nonsense. As a human being, you are a spirit. You don't need to do anything to be spiritual being. You don't have to be a spiritual being anymore or be spiritual. All you need is to live your life as human. You are a spirit. Live it. You are the energy. Perform. So women, how I wish you will wake up and begin to see the truth so that you can help us reach to your men or to your husbands. Right? So, and it will be very okay. So when people are talking about invisible being or imaginary being, that's spiritual, that's superstition. That's being very religious. Like you pray, oh Father, bless my family in Jesus' name. That's stupidity, a stupid thing for you to say or do. Whose father are you talking to? Have you seen the one you're saying anything about? And the Jesus name you use, who is Jesus' name? Who is Jesus? Have you seen Jesus? You have not seen Jesus, but you read Jesus in the Bible. You have not seen Jesus, you see Jesus in the dream. You see Jesus in the vision. We are talking about reality. Your prayer, you net down in reality to pray. Why are you kneeling down in reality and praying in spirituality? It's not good for human beings pretending to be spiritual beings. It's pretense. Stop pretending to be spiritual. You are spirit. If you are spirit, you don't need to pray. Spirit don't pray. Spirit don't worship. Oh yeah. Do you get what I just said? Spirit. Have you seen the Holy Spirit pray to anyone? They tell you Jesus prayed because Jesus is not a spirit. Jesus is not a spirit. That's why he prayed. You read it in your Bible. Luke chapter 24, 36 to 43. Jesus is not a spirit. He's flesh and bone like you and I. And because he was a lazy person, he did not get any job. He was praying. People that get job don't pray. Have you noticed that? The only time you see people that get job or serious work doing pray is when they are not working. There's people that are working, they don't pray. Take it. Because they are too busy. When you are busy supplying goods or maybe doing way bill, they say, let us pray. You say, let us do what? Please get out from here. You go for your business. It's after the business, it's okay. They say, let us pray, it's okay. And sometimes when you see that, they say, let us pray. Because you have labored enough, you will doze off, you will sleep. They tell you it's the devil. The devil don't want you to hear the word of God. The devil don't want you to pray. Which devil? It's nature. If you labor in the day, in the night you're supposed to relax and regain some strength. Now you're devoting to pray. That's not, you'll be sleeping. You labor from morning till evening. Then you're supposed to catch sleep at night. You went for night vigil. You are torturing yourself, and sometimes they will discover something is bothering you in your body because you hated to listen to your body while pretending you are listening to one imaginary being somewhere. So when you are talking about invisible or imaginary, you are talking about superstition. You are talking about being very religious, which is inhuman, which is you don't supposed to engage in. Because it's when you begin to practice superstition, that's when you begin to believe in what you have not seen. But it's superstition. You believe. He says, yeah, but you never seen that. But you believe. That's when you begin to make up images in your head or anywhere. You see how they make the images of Jesus and Mary. Some people have the images of Jesus and Mary in their head. Although they have this, some of them have removed the Jesus from the wall, removed from their house or from their car and all that. But how about the image of Jesus in your head? You still have that image. Of course, I still have it, but I kill it every day. I kill it daily because it is there. It is there. That images that people make up, that altars, and dedicated themselves to them. You dedicate your children to images you haven't seen them before. Those images that people make because you are superstitious, because you are very religious. You begin to believe in something you have not seen as though they exist. You begin to make up images and altars, dedicating nonsense to them, dedicating yourself to them. That you have to pray how many sometimes so to them and all that. Why are you dedicating yourself to imaginary beings? Why are you believing in imaginary beings when you're supposed to know the whole truth? Seek the truth, seek knowledge from those things or those ones that exist, not from all those imaginary beings. They make you believe they exist where they don't exist. I rather learn from nature than waiting on imaginary being. I rather learn from nature. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 14. Even nature teach you this. Let nature teach you. Nature will teach you better than Jesus. Nature will teach you better than God. Nature will teach you better than the Bible. Nature will teach you better than the Quran. You cannot learn any morality in Christianity, in Islam, in Judaism. They teach you fake morality. They cannot teach you what will make you live a good life. It is fake life. Their morality is fake life. Remove your jewelry. Dress this way. That's nonsense. It doesn't stop them from lying. It doesn't stop them from sleeping with another man's wife, right? Is it the same for a man to sleep with another man's wife? Many Christians, they are antenna will rise up now. They want to hear what I will say. Nonsense. If you don't forgive your wife sex, another man can give her that sex. So what are you saying? Is that sin? If you refuse to have sex with your wife and she has sex with another man, is that sin? If you refuse to give your children food and another man give them food, is that sin? He said, no, sex is different. What makes it different? It's part of nature. When a woman or a man needs sex, of course, it has to be done. You can't suppress it and have peace. No, you can never suppress it and live a normal life. No, you have to be living very superstitious life, very religious life for you to suppress sex. Very sweet thing. I enjoy it. Oh man, sex is so sweet. That's why I bless women. Me, how can I be against women when I know that, I get honey from them? That's the heaven where I came from. Let me ask you, where did you come from? Where were you before your parents met each other? In heaven or in hell? Especially you that believe you will go to hell if you disobey God. You believe God gave you to your parents, right? So you were in heaven with God. Now God sent you into this world for you to mess up and he sent you to hell. Think. They teach you how to be gangster to defend your religion. Of course, I call them police dogs. They are not even gangsters. Because, especially the Christians. Muslims, when it comes to religion, Muslims are better believers than Christians. Muslims can die for their religion, but Christians preach heaven, but they don't want to die to go to heaven. Muslim, you tell Muslim, blow yourself up, you're going to have 72 virgins. He say, Allah Akubaru. He go and blow himself up. But tell Christian to go kill himself. He say, oh Lord, let this cup pass by me. It's not your will. I know your will say you will give me long life. Long life and prosperity. How can you be preaching heaven when you are preaching and sowing seed for long life and prosperity? That criminal Matthew Ashimolowo, he asks you to pay tithe depending on based on how many years you have lived in this world. And they're the one that telling you the Christ, there is kingdom of God, kingdom of heaven. Then die and go now. Stop eating. Okay, do real fasting. If you do real fasting, say, I will fast for 40 days and 40 nights. You will die. Do it and go to heaven. It's a good thing. It's a good cause. The Muslims can do that. Christians, they preach heaven, but they don't want to go to heaven because that heaven does not exist. And so I rather learn from nature than waiting on imaginary being to come and do anything for me. That they tell you, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Nonsense. I'm waiting upon the Lord, then I shall renew my strength again. What is the essence of waiting on the Lord? Let him renew my strength now. I used to preach all that nonsense from our Bible. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. So you are now engaging in fasting. You are renewing your strength. And you are starving yourself. You are renewing your strength. Nonsense. Wake up, my people. When I finish eating my dinner, I don't eat any other thing. I lay down. I'm fasting. So when I wake up in the morning, I break the fast. That's why it's called break fast. So we fast naturally. We don't need all this made up that people brought to suppress nature. Like now you say you have 6 days in a week to work and 7 days to, what was the 7th day, 1 day to rest. Who gave you that? It is against nature. You work 6 days and rest 1 day. You're supposed to working and resting every day, daily. That's how our ancestors had it. They did not have 1 day dedicated to one worship of anything. No, you're not doing any work. It is evil men that created Sabbath. And then they created Sunday. And you see that fighting. Jewish said, the Lord commanded Sabbath on the 7th day, which is what? Now, Christians created Sunday. Sunday is the first day of the week. So Christians said that Jesus resurrected on the first day of the week. You believe that Jesus resurrected on the first day of the week? Tell me the date Jesus resurrected then. They don't know. And have you seen anyone tell you that Jesus resurrected on so day? How they tell you he resurrected on the first day of the week? But according to the Bible, Jesus did not even resurrect on the first day of the week. He didn't. But they believe it because they have to make something up to make people believe. It's called make-believe. Religion is make-believe. Superstition is make-believe. So whatever you believe is make-believe. Made up by who? Not by any God anywhere. It's by your fellow human being who designed that belief to keep you in bondage. Every part of the nature teaches a lot. If you are willing to learn, you can look at the ant crawling on your floor and learn from it. Sometimes when I'm running in the park, I step on some things. I say, let me come back and see how that thing is. I came back and see that thing never remained the same. Sometimes I avoid them. Sometimes I step on them. You see? Sometimes I learn from the tree. Sometimes I'm running. I perceive some smell, maybe from the, you know how grass smell. Sometimes it gives me energy. Sometimes it makes me, begin to think many things. Because so when you're walking out, especially in the nature, you have many things to encourage you. The sun encouraged me. The weather encouraged me. Sometimes also the weather discouraged me. Maybe I'm trying to go out to run and I begin to hear thunder or maybe the rain dropping. I say, you know what, I'm not running today. But sometimes if I really want to run, I have iWatch. I can run in the rain. I have iPhone. I can run in the rain with it. So with them, I still run. I know, no problem. It's still the same thing. If I really want to run, if I really need to run. So nature, you have to learn from nature. Every part of the nature, no matter how small, no matter their size, they can teach you a lot than what men have written in any book. Sometimes you are looking for relevance or something that will make you come up to a certain level. That's why you go for books. I hear people telling me, write books. Why am I writing books for? To teach what? There are nature to teach you. Look around you. You can teach yourself also. But you don't want to learn from yourself. You are learning from others. How did that man succeed? Learn how you can succeed. You can succeed yourself. I don't say don't learn from other people. But don't limit yourself. Stop looking for what somebody wrote in a book. Somebody wrote that thing. You can write also. You can rewrite what that person wrote, and you can write original one, even better than the one that person wrote. So nature will teach you a lot than what they teach you in school, or they can teach you in any school. Nature will teach you a lot. Nature will teach you even to live a better life than whatever people will teach you in school. Because I may teach you something that works for me, but it will never work for you. That's how it is. That doesn't make me maybe lesser human being and you more human being, or me more human being or you lesser human being. No, it means that though we are of the same nature, but we have with our body function differently, or adapt to something differently, or relate with something different. Some people are allergic to granite. Some people are not. Some people are allergic to melon. Some people are not. But they tell you, I've been eating this melon and my health has been wonderful. You ate it. You get constipation, or you begin to have some pain. Like I don't eat red meat anymore. But some people love it. Why? Because of health issue. I said, no, I don't want to have that pain again. They call it gout pain. I hate that pain. And they said, if I don't want to have that pain, I should stop eating beef. I said, okay, beef, bye-bye. I'm not eating. I eat chicken, fish, turkey. I still have many things to eat. So why am I killing myself for beef? Beef was never my number one thing. But when you go to where they kill goat meat, all this, you eat it now, of course. But I stopped eating them. Like there's this vegetable in America. He said it also causes that pain. I don't eat it anymore. But people eat it. I used to eat it a lot in America, but I said, no, I'm not. The doctor said it triggers the pain. I cut it off. So that's how it is. Our ancestors use nature to convey truth or message to their children, even unborn children. Our ancestors, they use nature. That's why you look at their stories. It's made up with animals. Tortoise said to the goat, do this. And you see, that's what these people stole and begin to put Jesus, begin to put Elijah, begin to put Elisha. The stories they stole from us, they begin to use it to make up something as if it happened in reality. Our ancestors use they use nature like animals, trees, and etc. to teach their children wisdom. You read the Bible, say, go to the ants and the land. Where did they get it from? Our ancestors were saying all that. I remember what my father used to tell me. In other words, they don't want you to start something you cannot finish. They want you to finish what you started. It's a proverb, but it conveys wisdom. Pericoma said that Ilu dictionary in the Igbo. Our own dictionary as Igbo people is proverbs. And in our land, they say that anyone that somebody give you proverb and explain it to you, that the money they used to pay your mother's breakfast is useless. It's just to provoke you so that when you hear proverb, you think, because it makes you think. Proverb can convey many things to you. It can convey a lot of message, a lot of wisdom to you. Like somebody said, Ndokak. Ndokak, it's true, people use it as name, but it means a lot. If you can understand that, it means life is more important than riches. Life is more important than wealth. Of course, where there is life, there is hope. If you have life, you can still be rich tomorrow. If you have life, you can still be wealthy tomorrow. But if you don't have life, guess what? That wealth is useless. Nothing. I want to say it again. Nature exists without God. And God cannot exist without man. Man made God. Man created God. Man created every God that there is. And that's why they have about how many gods? About 5,000 gods in the whole world. If God is the one that created man, there won't be many gods. Unless you say many gods created man. Man created God. So another man come up and say, I don't like that one you created. I create my own. Another one come up and say, I don't like that one. I create this one. And they begin to have revelation and visions. I had a voice in my dream. As I said yesterday, it is not the voice of God you are hearing. It is the voice of your blood, your ancestors. You are one blood with them. Blood speaks. They stole it from you and put it in the Bible and tell you that the blood of Abel was crying from the ground. The blood of our ancestors is not crying from the ground. It's crying from our within our veins. Oh, I like that question. I think it's a lady that asked that question. I shared the post. Say you're talking about soul. He said, where is the location of soul in the body? Excuse me, let me open that. So where is the location of the soul? You say you have soul, right? Where is the location of the soul in the body? Who will tell us that? Who will answer that? You say, oh, you don't know. Of course, you're supposed to know. Jeremiah 33 verse 3. Call unto me. I will answer you and show you great and mighty things which you know not. So if you believe in God or you have God, you're supposed to know the location of the soul in your body. Who knows that? You say nobody knows. God knows. Okay, that's why I asked you to ask God if he knows. Nature exists without God. Man made God. God cannot exist without man. Every God that exists is man-made. That's why you have about 5,000 gods in the world that people worship. And many of them don't want to mention goddess. What happened to goddesses? Because certain men decided to humiliate women, put women under. And you see, many women accept it that way. And that's why they behave the way they behave. I remember one time in Ojo, you know, one guy in a chemist store he's the owner. The chemist man is one of the member of the church where I was pastoring then. So we used to hang there. So, you know, that time all these Tokumba started coming in Nigeria. So whenever you put a video on, people will gather to watch. So there's this movie they put. A woman is the main actor there, so actress. She was acting, you know, like doing like men. Another woman that was watching the movie will say, see this woman. And you see, people believe that women literally hate each other. Women cannot unite. And do you know why? Because when it comes to women, religion have destroyed women. And it is a shame for them that you still see some educated women dying for religion. They need to wake up. If there is God, there must be goddess. If there is God and no goddess, it is error. It's against nature. The natural way to live is God and goddess. A God cannot have a child without goddess. That's why your God went after another man's wife. Stupid. I cannot tell you how nature began, but I can tell you how I began. I started in my father's loins. He had sex with my mother, and I came to be. It's simple. The same goes with you or to you. And you cannot deny that. That is the truth we have. Nature has no beginning and ending. Man has no beginning and ending. Life goes on. Life goes on. Stop seeing life as hard. Life is very simple. It is people, especially religious people, that is making it hard. Life is very simple. Nature is not God. Nature is not God. Do you hear that? Nature is not God. Nature is not a being. Nature is not a being you have to worship or you have to know. Nature is not a being that created anything. Nature is part of the whole us, and we are part of nature. Nature is in us, and we are in nature. You are part of nature. Nature is not God, but the universe. The galaxies, the stars, the moons, animals, trees, human beings. We are all part of the nature. What you call spirituality is nature, but they spiritualize it to keep you in bondage. You say there must be a spiritual force controlling the whole thing. Which force? The force you are talking about is life, nature, life itself. The life you have is spirit. The life you have is energy. The life you have is nature. The life you have. Not the life that was given to you. Life is not a gift. It's religion that makes life a gift. Eternal life through Jesus Christ. Nonsense. You don't need anyone to give you life. You have life. You are life. You can live in the body you are living now. You are living in that body. When you leave that body goes down. You enter another body. It goes on. Reincarnation, not resurrection. Truth, not faith. It's time you live your human nature. Stop trying to be godly. You were not born to be godly. So when you say you are godly, how will I use goddess to goddess or goddess? Okay, you are godly. How about goddess? Oh, you have to be godly. Oh, you are godless. No, yes, I am godless because I am human. I don't need to be godly. All I need to be is human. That is my nature. I am human nature. I am human nature. That is the truth about me. So nobody can divide me. Nobody can separate me from that nature. That's when you begin to see yourself as who you are, you begin to understand dreams. I say it one time, but let me say it again. Do you know the reason why you have dreams about certain place you never been in this world? Because you used to exist before you exist through your parents now. Yes. There is nothing new under the sun. Newborn baby. No. It's the same life coming. Now, you see the wisdom of recycling. People recycle things, right? They recycle things to make it in another form or another thing. Then you begin to think about reincarnation. Life is easy. Yes, you are alive. Nobody give us life. Like you see people say, use the brain God gave you. Which God gave you brain? Brain is part of nature, it's part of you. It's not a gift. We don't have any gift of God. We are nature. We are part of nature. We are not give. God is not giving us to any of our parents. No, our parents had sense and have us. That's simple. But when you don't understand nature, or when you don't want to consider yourself, that's when you begin to fall for that lies about spirituality, about religion, telling you you are this, you are that, you can be this, you can be that. All you're supposed to be, all you ought to be is nature. Religion brings you down. Religion, makes you look stupid. That's what religion actually do. It makes you be stupid. It makes you behave like animals. That's why you say you are a sheep. You are the sheep of the Lord. And other people, you call them goat. They tell you he puts goats on the left, he puts sheep on the right. And you are listening to that being. You listening to that nonsense. Making it is what they stole from us. If you're from Igbo or from Africa, you have heard about the stories about the tortoise and other animals, how they do things, how they go for meeting, especially who knows? When you listen to that song, it shows you how somebody can betray you, your friend, and lie to you, tell you, okay, let's go. No, I'm doing this for your good, but it's for his own good. And like any, you go, a little tortoise tie rope on you and sew you to the king to marry king's daughter. And you think, oh, this tortoise is my friend. He's bringing me before the rich man or before the king. No, he just use you to get what he wants. So my family and friends, as usual, this thing is easy. It is simple if you can start with yourself. The truth you are seeking for, the truth you are fighting to know is you. You are the truth first. You are the force. Start with yourself. When you don't start with yourself, anyone can deceive you. When you don't start with yourself, anyone can take you where you don't want to be. So this is what I want to share with us as I continue doing my thing